Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Oh, the Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. So glad you're here. So glad you're here, my friend. Pull up a chair. Gonna fill you with joy. Fill you with great cheer so much you're gonna scream. For the Mr. Marty Show. Very spooky. On the Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. Oh, the Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. Show. Always something spooky going on during SpoOktober on the Mr. Marty. Mr. Marty SpoOktober Show. And it's all about our favorite graves.
I took the knife, I plunged it in. I took the knife and plunged it again. You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me for all to see. I took the knife, cut open your crown, reached in with a spoon, scooped out what I found. You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me for all to see. I took the knife, carved a hideous mouth, cut out your eyes like they're popping out. You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me for all to see.
stuck it in your head. And then a match I lit.
You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me
For all to see. I took a knife and made you mine. I created life. Look how you shine.
You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me
For all to see. Happy Halloween. For all to see. Happy Halloween.
Hello, Mr. Marty fans. Ma Ghoulmore here, and I am with MJ Howling. Woo, howling away. Today we are talking about famous graves. Or grave sites. Ooh, where have you been in this world?
Where have I been in this world? Went to, I think, Springfield.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln's.
Ooh, did you see him?
No. He was out to lunch.
He was out to lunch. I love it. Oh, him and his wife were having lunch together and their little boys. Oh, that is a famous grave. Oh, well, one of my most famous grave sites is Antietam. Do you know what Antietam is?
No, tell me.
Oh, it was during the Civil War. And all of the people were fighting and fighting and fighting, and so many deaths of that day. On that one day, I believe it was the most that they had had during the war. And so Antietam is now a grave site. And when you walk and you walk and you talk, you have to be very quiet because you can hear the ghosts. You can hear them howling. Oh, such a grave site. But don't we all kind of end up like that?
Yes. What is it, from dust to dust?
Dust to dust, dust to dust.
And some just don't want to go to dust.
No, they don't.
No.
And so, while Antietam is howling and Abraham Lincoln and his children and wife are out to lunch, we will bid you a happy Halloween SpoOktober. This is Ma Ghoulmore and MJ Howling, and we will say we'll be seeing you. Peace.
Welcome to my home in McCartney Place, a quiet little cul-de-sac in Scone, a country town in New South Wales, Australia. It is spring now, and deciduous trees are just beginning to show their new leaves. The large tree on the left, near the neighbouring fence, is a golden rain tree. A tulip tree is close to the letterbox and surrounded by agapanthus. The shrubs growing along the neighbouring fence are doing well since some very welcome rain. Blue periwinkle helps fill in the gaps, as it does in so many parts of both front and back gardens. The front of the house has a rockery which has been covered with blue periwinkle and masses of seaside daisies. I'm thinking of planting some nasturtium seeds here to bring some more colour. The large shrub is an abelia, and the smaller pink one next to it is a camellia. Alongside that is a smaller variety of abelia near the gate. Starting now at the letterbox at the end of the driveway, this bed has been full of freesias and blue star flowers, now finished. A few rose bushes are forming buds, while beneath them seaside daisies and a dark blue campanula is spreading. Evening primrose are trying to break through to be seen. Some work is needed here to control the campanula, which I allowed to spread. It is considered a weed by most people. I'll be concentrating on this bed next week. Finally, this creeper climbing the wall near the gate and garage has climbed over to partly cover the back of the wall too. So perhaps that will make a fitting introduction for the next Jan's garden, showing spring further advanced in that area since it was last seen.
Hi, Mr. Marty fans. Ma Ghoulmore here. Yes, it's October now, and I'm standing in front of a truckload of pumpkins. We are in Long Grove, MJ and myself, and we are just hunting around for different places, and we found this to go in our SpoOktober. Now, Long Grove is having an Oktoberfest on October 5th. So come and find out what you can, get the goodies. They're going to have lots of eats and lots of, probably their good donuts. Pumpkin donuts are always good. So until we meet again, I always bid you peace.
Well, Mr. Marty fans, here we are at the haunted St. Omer Cemetery. Another place that's like off the beaten track for sure. St. Omer Cemetery is all that's left of the town of St. Omer. And this particular gravestone that we're looking at is the reason the cemetery is believed to be haunted. This sort of crystal ball thing here is said to glow in the dark on moonless nights, and it's said to be haunted because Caroline, whose grave you're looking at, was said to be a witch. And it says that her death date is February 31st, 1882. Now, we all know that there's no such day as February 31st, but legend has it that they put that date because witches are said to rise from their graves on the dates of their death. But if the date of her death is a day that doesn't happen, then she won't rise from the ground on that day. And many people come here and leave things. There's a wreath of pine along the top here, and someone has like tied, I don't know, what looks like a robe or something around it, and there's flowers. So apparently this is like quite a local thing, and it's been said that people do come and perform rituals here. I'm not feeling like haunted vibes, but it is facing, it's odd because it faces north and south, and as you can see, all these other tombstones are oriented in the other direction. This is like really the only one here that's oriented in this direction.
Overlooking the blue Pacific on the island of Kauai, there's a cemetery called the McBride Sugar Plantation Cemetery, also called Glass Beach Cemetery. These tombstones are mostly of Japanese workers from the sugar plantation in the early 19th century. Apparently, a resident of Kauai found an old tombstone about 11 years ago, buried in the brush and tall grasses that grow up on this seaside cliff. She started cleaning them up and uncovered dozens of them, many of them with erosion and lichen and scratches and scars from the years gone by. Many of them toppled over, lying in the red dirt of the Kauai island. But they're beautiful in their engraved likenesses of Buddha and the initials and names and dates of the deceased, all in Japanese. We talk about the end of the road figuratively, but this is also a cemetery. High on a hill at the end of the road. In paradise.
Happy SpoOktober! My name is Phoebe. I am in the basement of the Elk Rapids Playhouse, so there's some costuming props and things. I have a couple ghost stories to share. They happen, you know? It's weird enough when you have one, but when they pile up like that. The biggest one that I remember is from is a story my grandma would tell about her experience. My grandmother had an Airbnb. She ran it with my grandpa. And there was one room, there were a bunch of themed rooms, like 3 of them, and there was one that overlooked the garden that they called the garden room. And people would come to the Airbnb if they needed a break from the trials and tribulations of life. Sometimes they would have a divorce that was weighing on them and they just needed to escape, you know, have a little vacay. And people would stay in the garden room and come down the next morning and say, I had the weirdest dream. And this was like 3 different people, years apart, who didn't talk to each other, and they would say, I had the weirdest dream. There was a man in like a leather coat with tassels, like a hunter's jacket, and a hat. And he sat at the foot of my bed and said, hey, everything's gonna be okay. And then like that, everything melted away, and they were like, yeah, it is gonna be okay. And they would wake up that next morning and come downstairs and tell Grandma that story, and Grandma's like, aha, a man in a trapper jacket. And a hat, that's oddly specific. And yeah, anyway, so she's just like, that's a weird coincidence. And while they were remodeling the upstairs one year, they found a door that had been wallpapered over, and they opened it, and it was just like this little, maybe a linen closet, and it had an old tackle box in the bottom of it. And they opened up the tackle box, and it was full of all little rusty drill bits and forgotten bits and bobs, and a photograph, like a family photo. And in the middle was a man in a trapper's jacket and a hat. Like that was his room. And on the back, everyone was named, like they wrote down who was in the photo, and his name was Harold. And so she would greet Harold when she came home because he was around, you know? And kind of try and strike up a rapport, you know? And then there's this back gate that wouldn't come open on its own. Like it was like a solid latching gate. Every once in a while it would just be open. And she's like, that's weird. But every time it was open, she started to notice there was something wrong with the house. One time there was like an owl stuck in the attic. One time there was some teenagers squatting in the garage. And it just, every time there was something amiss with the property, the gate would be open and she'd be like, thank you, Harold. I'll go check out. Something's wrong with the property. Thank you. I'll go figure that out. and it was like their little system. And over the years, she was doing research on who else was in the photo to see, are there any living relatives? What can you tell me about this guy? And she found his wife, who is still alive, very, very old. And yeah, they kept in contact for a while. And when that woman passed away, Grandma didn't ever hear from Harold again. Like he was waiting for her. It's the sweetest ghost story. Because that's so human. Anyway, happy Spooktober. There's a wholesome one for you.
Hello, Mr. Marty fans. Mike McScary here. I'm back this Spooktober with another one of my stories I'd like to share with you over the next 5 weeks. This year's story is called The Monkey's Other Paw. I hope you enjoy it. And what I mean by that is I hope it makes you sleep just a little less comfortably. Tonight, Episode 1, Green with Envy. Henry Green sat alone at the back of the bar. He had lost to Jesse Toten again. This time, it was at an open mic contest for solo singer-songwriters promoted as the Battle of the Bars. Henry thought the title might have been amusing if he'd won, but there wasn't anything funny about losing yet again to Jesse freaking Toten. This had been a big one. There were talent scouts and network interest, and he'd blown it. He looked over to where Jesse was sitting wrapped up in deep conversation with a guy in a suit. Draped over Jesse's left arm like some ancient Greek spoil of war sat Antigone Musica. That hurt the most. It was so unfair. She should be with him. He'd been about to ask her out. Why the heck had he ever introduced her to him? Jesse was probably his oldest friend, going back to when they had first started out writing and singing songs, each trying to outdo the other in friendly rivalry. Lately, Henry couldn't stand the look at him. Out of the corner of his eye, Henry saw a big guy approaching, mid-50s with a ruddy complexion and a military bearing. The old guy pulled out a chair and sat down next to him. "Who the hell are you?" said Henry, a little stunned at the invasion of his personal space, especially at this time of personal loss. The man was unperturbed. When he spoke, it was in a clipped British accent that reinforced that sense of military background. "Morris is the name. You're Henry Green, right? You look like you could use a little change in your luck. You ever hear of the monkey's paw?" Henry thought, who is this guy? How does he know my name? And what the heck is he talking about? "You mean that story they made us read in high school?" Henry asked. "Story, news report. I guess it's all in your perspective, but yes, sir, right you are." The guy was definitely crazy, bordering on Monty Python wacky, but the story had been one of the few good ones he actually remembered, at least a little bit. "Some old guy gets 3 wishes on a magic monkey's paw, right?" Henry said. "Should have been his lucky day, but as I remember it, that's not how he feels by the end of the story." Well, I hate to leave you wondering, but that's all the time we have for today. Can you imagine being given 3 wishes? Tune in next week to find out how such a lucky man could possibly end up feeling unlucky after all. Till next week, Mike McScary.
Well, I think that this is starting to take on a character, a persona, so to speak, and I'm enjoying the way it looks. Just working along here, trying to bring up the rest of the rock, the carving. It's the way this piece has been positioned into this rock. You could tell it's been there for a long time, moved around maybe, and so that's where I'm at with this is right now, just trying to get that right balance of mortar as opposed to cement. There, this is like, and then the rock itself, this area, this is all chiseled. So I have to create that kind of imagery, and even though I might introduce just a tad more color beyond just the black and white. You know, this is all just shades of gray color right now, which is cool, and I might think against it, you know, since it's just the dual tone. Maybe that's what it needs. So as you can see, I proceeded to work on this. I had to charge up my phone. It actually died on me, and I'm pretty happy where I'm at with this. One of the neatest discoveries I made on this was realizing I thought that the Sheila gig had no hair, but I realized this is her hair. These two sections were carved to give her hair, which is awesome. I thought at first it was just Celtic decoration, but no, that's a good old hair braid. And then this other one is a different kind of braid. I love the fact that this artist put in those two kinds. Her little private parts down there, I accentuated a little bit in the original photo. It looks like at maybe one point it might have been obliterated. It has a lot to do with the Irish culture. The Celts were matriarchal. They would take the woman's name, and that all changed when the Church of Rome was established. And so I am sure that the Sheila na gig culture was probably frowned upon, and in many ways probably was acted against. But it's a wonder that we still have these kind of pieces of art and a wonderful representation of the giving of life. That's what, to me, the Sheila na gig represents. So I hope you enjoyed watching me do this painting, all in black and white and gray. Pretty cool. So I'll see you in the studio next time. Thanks a lot.